Hola, 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 cage fighting connoisseurs. This is Kid Nate and Eugene S. Robinson, valiantly battling through technical difficulties imposed on us by the god kings of Google.
Yeah.
Those people. That's all I have to say, Eugene. Those people.
I mean, on
Not
the
that they
one
listen
hand,
or
they
pay
they
attention.
bring they bring us here. On the other hand, once we're here, they shame and belittle us. Much
They,
like much like life, really.
it really is, and I gotta say, for anybody who wasn't among the lucky dirty dozen that saw the show live last week, best show of all time, right, Eugene?
Yeah, it was great. It was. I mean, start off with the fact that I attained flight. I actually levitated and floated around the room. I burst into
He really
flame.
did. If you've ever seen the Maharishi Mahayoshi or whatever do it, that was fake. What Eugene was doing was absolutely real.
Yep,
The Dream Crusher was putting a hula hoop underneath him. There were no wires, no
yep,
nothing.
yep,
It was
yep.
amazing.
And
He
then when
also told the
we had
story.
that section where Jesus came in, that was really, man.
I think that cured you of your atheism, Eugene, I have to say.
Last person I expected to see at Sorrow Academy, believe me.
But seriously, folks, you did miss a humdinger. But this time, Dallas Winston is remotely recording the audio for this show live, so it won't happen again. The
Dallas,
guys,
let me tell you about that guy.
exactly.
He's not recorded nothing.
Probably not, given our streak. But we haven't even told people why we're here. The UFC 185 Care Don't Care preview. Anthony Pettis versus Rafael Dos Anjos, plus Carla Esparza defending her strawweight title, plus Johnny Hendricks versus Matt Brown in a welterweight title
Plus,
elimination
you get
match.
having to go dancing till 4 in the morning on Saturday after the fights.
Oh yeah, this is your dancing club thing, the
No, this is
Fandango
not
business.
tango. Tango, fortunately, has nothing but old people in it, so they they always end up like at midnight or 1. They're done.
I thought the whole deal was you stayed up all night like the real Latin Americans.
No, no, no. You can't get that happening here in California. However, when you go to see Simeon Mobile Disco, you got to stay up till 4 in the morning.
I see. Simeon Mobile Disco. That
Yeah,
sounds scandalous.
yeah, in a way. In a way, that anybody over 40 staying up past 3 in the morning is scandalous. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would have to say if there are not children involved. Our baby keeps us that gets me up at that hour. Not entirely unheard of.
I'm guessing your baby is not at a rave.
No, she hasn't been to a rave yet. Although she's going to a birthday party in a couple weeks, so it's just a matter of time before the rave
You
invitation
know,
starts.
you know what most people who don't have kids haven't factored in? The fact that when you have kids, that you have to socialize with your kids' parents.
Yes, and I give that a big thumbs down.
Sorry, kids' parents, if you're listening. Yeah, it tends to be a
It's not
drag.
that I don't like them; it's that they don't like us. That's all. I
Well,
mean,
also, it begins and ends with me threatening to punch their children. Yeah, I went to some kid's party, and my middle kid is like toddling around, and these older kids who are maybe about 12 or 13, they got this little push car, and they keep like bird dogging her, and I'm waiting for one of these hippie parents to say, "Hey boys, why don't you stop that? Why don't you let the little 16-month-old alone, go somewhere else?" And they're getting closer and closer, and it's like a little horror movie. And I'm watching, and at the last second they veer away, and I go, "Oh, okay, all right." So I was right to be like these other passive parents and say nothing. And then they veer away, they think of it, and they turn back, and they get like 2 inches away, and I say, "If you hit her, I'm gonna hit you."
bravo, well played, Eugene, well
And then,
played.
and then one of the other parents says, "We don't do any hitting here." And I go, "And I'll hit you too."
Oh, Eugene, can't take you
Ah,
anywhere. How mortified were your
don't get
kids?
invited back much.
But that's great and all, but you got to give us a disclaimer for the infamous and patented Care Don't Care preview, Eugene. Otherwise, people will get
Yeah,
their
this
feelings
has got
hurt.
nothing to do with your talents, your skills, your haircut, the cut of your jib. This has everything to do with the UFC marketing might and power behind you, and the fact that while they were letting guys like Burt quit, they ignored the marketing that would get us to know who you are. So it's possible to move from don't care to care, fight a great fight. Don't be a crybaby, you bedwetters. take it on the chin like a man. Fight a great fight. We'll remember you next time. Sorry.
Take that, you greedy bread gobblers. All right, and you mentioned Burt Watson.
Shy individuals.
the not a work shy individual, Burt Watson, the babysitter to the stars, as Joe Rogan named him, the man who's run it backstage for the UFC for 14 years, quit 2 weeks ago. Apparently over some sort of confrontation he had with something about Mark Munoz being left without a ride to the hotel, despite Burt having ordered it. And somebody at Zuffa, not Dana, not Lorenzo, I got crosswise with Burt, and he said, "Screw you, I quit." So.
Yep. Well, that's what we call that. We're keeping it real goes wrong. Because the way I'm looking at it, Burt had a pretty cush job, man. I mean, maybe he was close to retirement time anyway. I know it was a cush job, but a miserable, busy job. I know handlers have you have to have a certain kind of level of patience. But I'm anticipating that what'll come out is that, you know, somebody that maybe he was on a dotted line with, somebody one step above him, maybe on an org chart, said, "Well, you just do what I told you to do." And you know, Burt, being a man, was like, "You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I leave. That's what I do." So
that's exactly what Burt described as happening. Somebody called him, their panties were in a wad, they spoke to him disrespectfully, and he said, "I'm not having it. I quit."
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, you got to draw the fucking line, man. You know.
Absolutely, and he must be close to retirement. I mean, he was managing Smokey Joe Frazier back in the day, so.
Yeah. And from his point of view, he's come too long. He's dealt with bigger people. Sorry, I'm not doing it. You know.
Yeah. And it's going to be a hard job to replace because you got to have the respect of all the fighters. You got to have sort of a paternal look to care about the fighters, and also take absolutely no guff.
Yep. You know, I worked a job once, my first job out of college, and at one point we all sat in a bullpen. The boss came up, he put his foot on Andy Wu's desk and leaned down into Andy Wu's face and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Why are you so goddamn stupid?" And Andy Wu started crying. And I was sitting next to Andy Wu, and I gave this guy a look, and I was like, "I'm hoping you understand this look that I'm giving you," which is, if you ever think that that's a good thing to do to me, you know that will soon be followed by us fist fighting in the office. Fuck you. And this has nothing to do with me being a Negro, and everything to do with me being a punk rocker, man. I'm just not taking it, you know.
Yep. The rare Negro punk rocker, a very dangerous subspecies.
Right. Doubly dangerous, you know, like a hippo. Do not irk or annoy.
No, do not cross. Well, let's get right into it. We've got 3 fights on the UFC Fight Pass preliminary card. Again, this is Saturday, UFC 185, coming out of the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, a building I'm partially responsible for the taxpayer funding thereof, but we won't get into that. First up, and I think you're going to give a care to this. This might be a surprise care. Women's bantamweights Larissa Pacheco and Jermaine Durandamy.
Of course! Friend of Knuckle Up, Jermaine Durandamy, coming back from the Netherlands, where she's been on her way, of course, to train at Team Sorrel, where she had trained when she was in America. Which means I have not had the benefit of seeing her train like I usually do, but I'm going to extend some show karma to her, and I care, and I'm pulling for her. She's solid. She's solid.
Well, tough. She got beat out last time, TKO elbows, but I give a care. Just the transitive property of Eugene Karen has spilled over. I definitely know who she is, and no idea if she can beat Larissa Pacheco because I know nothing about Larissa Pacheco. But let's move on. Lightweights Jake Lindsay and Joseph Duffy.
Well, you know, Jake, I really
you don't care.
Yeah.
Let's not bullshit the people, Eugene. These are busy people.
Why not?
Busy. These shut-ins that listen to our show, they're looking to score some bath salts. They've got things to do, Eugene. We cannot waste some time.
Hey, kids, if you want bath salts, I'm your connect.
I see. Eugene will hook you up. He'll give you the stuff Rahm Emanuel eats before he speaks to people on the campaign trail.
Oh, Rob. He was channeling his brother is what he was doing, you know.
Ari Emanuel, the Hollywood legend there, what is he, a creative artist? Is that CA? Is that?
Yeah, I keep waiting for them to call me. Because I need agency representation again. I'm in that position once again.
I see the Leonard Part 6 check slowing down. You need some new work?
Yeah, my agent, I had this woman, Myra Berger was my agent, and it was a great moment where I was pounding on the desk and saying, look, I need you to represent me for theatrical. I need, and then I didn't have an agent anymore.
Well, I hope you learned something from that experience, Eugene.
Well, then I had another guy in San Francisco, and he was a good agent, and then I started having sex with this woman who he also represented, and she goes, oh, he's had a crush on me for years. I was like, he won't mind this at all. Well, that's so I don't have an agent.
I see. Well, Eugene, double dipping, line stepping.
Hey, Eskimo brothering.
Some lessons were learned.
Eskimo brothering. It's okay.
I saw an Eskimo movie once about that, and it was actually not okay.
Oh, really?
They frowned on this. You know what I'm talking about? This Eskimo movie that won some awards about, I don't know, 10 years ago.
About the Inuits. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like there was like two Eskimo couples sleeping together in an igloo one night, and the one brother's wife got frisky with the other brother right in front of their spouses, and as they were sleeping, and then blood feud ensued. It was ugly, but anyway, it was a great movie if you can find it.
Well, those things have to be thought about very carefully before you embark.
And it seems like no thought was given. Some footsie was played in the igloo, and it was on.
Well, you end up like my friend Mickey Balls, who goes, hey, Eugene, man, I got this threesome set up. It's going to be a blast. I was like, all right, let me know. And then he calls me. I go, man, that's kind of soon. That would be like a pretty fast threesome. And he calls me from the kitchen. He goes, everybody's crying. What do I do?
So what, was this him and his girlfriend and some other girl?
Him and his girlfriend and an ex-girlfriend of his. And I gave him my Newt Rockney speech. You get back in there. You get in there.
Did he save the day?
No, he didn't. He goes, if only you were here. I go, if only I was there, nobody would be crying, or at least I wouldn't be crying. But
How about I tag you in? You leave. I'll calm the girls down.
That's right. Why didn't you go to the store and get some towels? I'll handle things,
Exactly. Oh, well, suckers born every minute, they say. All right, last fight on the preliminary card, Sergio Pettis, Ryan Benoit.
Yes, Care.
Yes. How has Sergio Pettis found his way back to the UFC Fight Pass prelims? Like, this guy, he's on every card his big brother's on. He only lost the one UFC fight. He won his last one with two unanimous decisions in a row. Got a fight of the night last time, and here he is, still on Fight Pass.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is it okay for us to begin calling him the Linda McCartney of MMA?
That's pretty unfair. Have you ever heard the Linda McCartney tracks where they isolated her voice and keyboard part?
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't say it's unfair, though. She put herself out there, and
Yeah, but you know what? If you did that with anybody, well, maybe not.
Did you see when they did that to Courtney Love?
Yeah, I loved it. Hey, look, it's tough. It's tough.
It's tough. So you're calling the kid the Linda McCartney of MMA?
I just are we ready to start calling him that yet?
No.
Okay.
And surely there's like the Billy Carter or somebody that's like that, because he's very he's a blood
No, he's no Billy Carter, man. He's no Billy Carter. Hey, Billy Carter is dead, right?
Yeah. He passed away. Yeah. We're struggling on without him now. We're struggling on. All right. So we've got two UFC Fight Pass prelim card, and now an unusually short FX preliminary card. Again, it's not on Fox. I know you'll have this down, Eugene, in no time, but it's not on Fox Sports 1 this week. It's on FX, the channel that's too good for UFC.
I can't figure this stuff out, but fortunately, George, I wish my brother George was here. My brother George is helping me out with this, so because I can't keep track, man. You know what? I feel like the guy standing on the pier and the ship of fools has sailed away, and I can't. I'll stay in Germany. Maybe things will be okay in Germany. 1939 in Germany, and Nazis, okay.
I hear better days are just around the corner, Eugene. You'll be fine.
Actually, I'm leaving Germany. This Nazi menace is too much. I'm going to go to Poland. Things will be fine there.
Good call, Eugene. You'll be fine there. You'll be fine. Or maybe even Holland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm friends with this family, the Franks. They'll put me up for a bit, you know.
They've got some extra room in their hidden attic. All
Yeah.
right, so let's move right along. Preliminary card on FX, the Louis C.K. channel. Heavyweight Jared Rosholt and Josh Copeland open the show
Yes, I care.
because of Rosholt.
Yeah, Jared and Jake, the Raw Schultz. Yeah, I care about
Yes,
that. Yeah.
the guys that are making the team takedown earn their money. Like
Yep.
they've sunk a lot of money into these cats, and I don't think they've gotten a lot of payoff.
Is that very loud? The liquor store alarm that now is going off in my
I can
ear?
hear it. It's audible. It's not painfully distracting. I
All
can
right, good.
scratch my beard and probably drown it out. So.
All right, good.
Yeah. But so last time we saw Rosholt, he was getting knocked out by Alexei Olenek in a humdinger of a scrap. They were
Yep.
throwing down, and Jared just got carried away.
Yeah.
Dropped his guards. So, yep, I care about this one. Have no idea who this Josh Copeland cat is, and he has no Wikipedia page to tell me.
I think he's Aaron's. He's related somehow to Aaron.
Aaron Copeland, the great American composer. Eugene Ardemo does not know who the fuck Aaron Copeland is. I guarantee you.
That's okay. This show is about the rising and advancing of the intellect.
Exactly. Are you an Aaron Copeland fan personally?
No, I never liked him very much.
I don't either. That whole spring dawning and the music, the sound effects. I never got that crap either.
If you want to go for Americans, I'll go for Charles Ives.
Charles Ives. How do you spell that?
Ives.
Ives. That's
First
all right. I'll look at it. That was he Hungarian? The guy that was the composer you wrote the article about in Aussie the other week. What was the guy that threw away his whole career and then got
Albert Hubrecht.
Yes, that guy actually. The song you picked for that article was pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't Hungarian. He was actually Belgian.
Belgian,
I
Hungarian.
love that guy.
I enjoyed it, and of course you admired the way he threw away his opportunities.
Yeah, well, that guy, he's like, it's like, oh, this patron of the arts wants to meet you. She'll fundamentally change your career. He's like, fuck that. I'm no plaything of the rich.
Well,
life penniless.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
If you don't want patrons in the arts, well, don't have them.
Yeah.
All right, so lightweights, Darren Cruikshank and Benyal Dariush.
Yes, I care.
Because of the Detroit superstar Darren Cruikshank?
Yeah, I like Cruikshank.
And what about Dariush? Do you have a care for him? Or is this
I like the name Dariush, but I don't care about Dariush.
Yeah, I haven't. He's got a couple wins in a row, but yeah, I'm all about Cruikshank. Hopefully, he's recovered from the eye poking in his last fight that jacked him up. But I'd love to see the Detroit superstar unleashing some of those.
But you know, we should also let people know that kind of the standard that we're using and the standard that we need to use has everything to do with. I mean, I don't know if you're watching the fights the way we watch the fights, and I don't even know if Kid Nate, you're watching the fight the way. But what I'm looking for are revelatory moments. You know, I'm looking what I'm super about is like I want to be there when the next John Jones comes along, like I was when John Jones came along. I want to be there when Anderson Silva comes along, like I was there when Anderson Silva came along, or when Ronda came along. That's what I'm looking for, flashes of real genius. I'm not looking for a guy who's like.
You're not going to get that in this fight. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, but when I'm watching a fight and when I'm framing care, don't care, and when I'm saying I like this guy or don't like this guy, you know, my yardstick is genius. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. I just don't want to see a fight.
My yardstick is genius. That could be a collection of your critical commentary.
Well, I mean, you know, I could see a fight in a parking lot at 7-Eleven. That's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for guys, you know, like the first time you saw Sakuraba do something that elevated what is usually done in the ring, in his case, just above sparring, you know.
Seeing something new you've never seen before. And Cruikshank will give you flashes of that. He'll show you sometimes. Yeah. Right. He'll tease you with some techniques you haven't seen before, so that's fun. But let's keep moving on. Middleweights, Elias Teodoro against Roger Narvaez.
Do not care.
I don't either. I'm sorry, guys. All right, here comes a controversial one. I'm very curious to see what kind of feels you have for this. Lightweight, Ross Pearson versus Sam Stout.
Yes, of course.
You care? Don't you think this orange has pretty well been squeezed?
Yeah, but a lot of times, again, a lot of times, again, when you get a guy who's in that hole, like me, for example, I was in that hole in 2012,
Not you,
know,
Eugene.
crying for help, ignored by all and sundry. You end up doing pretty interesting things. So, I mean, and Pearson is actually. I like watching him, man. I've enjoyed watching him.
He's got some skills, and he and Sam Stout theoretically could be an interesting sort of MMA kickboxing match. But Sam Stout's the kind of asshole that will go for takedowns in a fight like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I hadn't gotten to Sam Stout because I'm not. I mean, if in my mind, if this fight is going to be made interesting at all, it'll be a hat tip to Pearson, not Stout.
Yeah, sadly, I've given up hope for Sam Stout entertaining me anytime in the future. I'm going to give this fight a don't care. I can't quite do it because I do care about Ross Pearson. Yep. I don't care about Sam Stout anymore, though. Sadly, I never really did. He had his trilogy with Spencer Fisher, but otherwise, he has been a lot of no fun.
The Fisher King.
The Fisher King, and a shout out to Spencer. I hope he's doing better than I heard he was doing.
What happened?
I'm not free to talk about it, Eugene, but he's having some health issues, and it's not good. So, some alarming health issues that I really shouldn't be talking about at all. So,
okay.
Don't get curious about what Kid Nate's talking about, guys.
Are they contagious health issues?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not, but they could be occupationally related. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. All right. So, first up on the pay-per-view card, and I have to say, I think this is a pretty good pay-per-view card. I give it a big care. All right, flyweight, Chris Cariaso and Henry Cejudo, former Olympic medalist.
Yes.
Absolutely. And this care is not for Chris Cariaso because despite his title shot, mine isn't. I'm saying mine is.
Chris Cariaso is a Bay Area guy. He's training with Darren Uyenoyoma.
Localism, of course.
Well, no, that's not an automatic reason for me to care about him. But Derek Bone Crusher Uyenoyoma, who had a career in the UFC.
Well said. You pronounced his name. That rolled right off your tongue.
Yeah, I've had like 16 years to practice it. So, but he, what people don't know, or maybe they do if they remember, is that Darren had been the jiu-jitsu coach at Fairtex for many years and has made a living as a wrestling coach at odd times. So this is a pretty clever pick, because they could have just at FTCC, which is where he trains with Darren. It could be. I mean, we're looking at wrestling versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is going to be a grappling match that. It could be kind of cool. I mean, what I've seen of Cejudo, he's not impressed with any kind of stand-up game. So he's kind of like the MMA's Ben Askren. So I'm thinking that this would be a grappling fest, and it should be pretty interesting.
We'll see. The big question with Cejudo, of course, at flyweight is can he make the weight? We've had a lot of drama coming out of Henry Cejudo world, and he got booted out of the flyweight division after he failed to make weight and had to miss his first UFC fight. Then they moved him up to bantamweight. He got a win. He asked to come back down. They'd love to have him continuing at flyweight, but we'll see. So fingers crossed.
What cracks me up with these wrestlers, though, is that like Anthony Rumble Johnson and so on, is that they, and me as well, I mean, when I wrestled, I was 16 years old, I could lose weight like that, And then I remember somehow in my 30s where losing weight like that was not something that really was happening. That wasn't happening at all. I got to start a few months out now, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the word is that Cejudo is just not training with the seriousness that he brought to his first Olympic run, and this is a guy.
Oh, really? He's going to find himself watching this stuff on the couch.
He might indeed, because he didn't even make the team on his second attempt to make. Not many guys go from gold medal run to not even making the team on the Olympics. So, and his MMA career has been spotted with a lot of missing weight, so we'll see. But this moves us up to another fun fight. Nobody's going to miss weight for this one, I hope. Heavyweights Roy Nelson and Alistair Overeem.
Yo, care, of course.
Oh, mega care. Now, do you have a pick?
I'm gonna go with Nelson.
Man, nobody has any faith in the Dutch horse eater anymore. But I got to go with Nelson too. I think it could be a beating.
Yeah. I don't know about a beating, but I just
if Nelson beats him, it's going to be a beating.
Well, see, the thing is with, and this is something where I gotta, I'm gotta give a nod to Overeem. I mean, you know, he's getting knocked out. He's getting schooled because he's trying stuff. You know, I mean, I'm going to give it to a guy who's trying stuff over some super safe guy who's just, you know, who's just trying to kill my soul by fighting a really slow, tragic fight. You know, so, I mean, winning or losing, Overeem does so spectacularly. And that makes him worthwhile. I mean, that's why we care, you know.
It's true. It's true. He is a very entertaining fighter, and I've given up hope that he'll make a run at the heavyweight title. But hope springs eternal for a sucker like me. So we'll see. But I just see Roy Nelson pacing him with the big overhand right. You know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, and I still don't see. I mean, Overeem has submitted guys, but I don't see him submitting.
The guillotine used to be famous, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not tapping Roy.
Well, and also, you know, everybody's getting older here, right? So
that they are. That they are.
Unless they got a clock at home that runs backwards, which if they've got it, I need one.
No shit. You're about to get me started on a daylight savings time rant. Fuck this bullshit daylight savings time. Try explaining daylight savings to a 2-year-old who doesn't know why you're waking her up an hour early.
Yeah. All my kids are out of sorts.
Yes, it's documented that it doesn't save any energy. It's pointless. All right, let's move along. Welterweights, Johnny Hendricks and Matt Brown.
Big care.
Massive care. Care about everybody involved. Lots of factors, though. Hendricks been talking about. He fired Mike Dolce. Is this a disastrous mistake?
I love that. You know why I love that? You know what they say about a bad dancer blaming his shoes? The problem in my last fight was clearly that I ate too many carrots. All right, man. Carrots, really. Yeah.
Some people say that Mike Dolce isn't actually a scientist.
He's a bro scientist, and that's all the difference in the world, you know. No, I mean, some people might say a lot of things about supplementation and about you know, the enhanced qualities of vegetables and other things, the performance enhancing quality of vegetables and other things.
I would certainly never say anything like that.
No,
because I know not to eat. I know not. Carrot tops and parsnip tops can be toxic.
Really?
Yeah, don't eat parsnip greens. They'll burn you. They're seriously like super nasty. Wow. All right. Yeah, but also we should mention that Matt Brown charges have been dropped in the assault case against him for allegedly beating up his jiu-jitsu coach.
The question is, has money changed hands?
That I can't say. Presumably Matt Brown was paying him to coach before the incident, but according to Matt Brown, the guy straight up lied, and there was nothing.
Hey, you know, there's a guy who I knew in Hollywood, and his career was made by Frank Sinatra. Sinatra made sure that he was on every movie. The guy was like a grip. I mean, nothing fancy. And I said, man, so you and Frank got along pretty well. He's like, yeah, you know, and I've told this story before, so feel free to Donna Shalala. He goes, I was in the hotel lobby, like at the Sands or someplace like that, and we were making a movie, my first movie, and some guy ran up to Frank, you know, with a pen and a piece of paper, and Frank wheeled around and cold cocked this guy, broke the guy's jaw, and there was a big problem, you know. I mean, this was just a fan in Vegas, and Frank was into his cups, broke this guy's jaw. And they Jilly sends up to the room for the grip. You know, the hotel is talking, you know, not the hotel, but the cops are talking to people. And they send for this kid who was his grip, his first movie. And they said, hey, kid, did you see anything down there that the cops should know about? And the kid says, I didn't see nothing there, Mr. Sinatra. He's like, good, nice. Duked him like $100. You know, back in the 50s, this was a substantial sum of money. And after that, he made sure the kid was always working on one of his movies. So,
man, it pays to kowtow to power.
Yeah. No word about the poor guy with the pen in the pad who had his jaw broken, whose crime seemed to be that he failed to call Frank Mr. Sinatra.
Well, lesson learned. I hope he learned his lesson. That's all we can say. And same for this guy who talks so much shit about Matt Brown. I mean, if you're going to accuse somebody famous of assault, you better have a case. That's all I got to
Oh,
say.
I'm thinking that's what I'm saying about money changing hands.
Oh, making
Yeah.
it a conspiracy, huh?
I'm just saying, how much would it take to make this go away? Because Matt's got a lot more to lose with an assault charge, and this guy, I mean, a couple of grand? Come on.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I mean, and how much money does Matt Brown? It's not like the guy's loaded. I mean, he hasn't won
Maybe,
any
but
titles or anything.
some guys come cheap. I remember the guy who Jack Nicholson beat up in traffic, and at first I go, man, if Jack Nicholson jumps out of his car with a golf club, I'm fucking him up. And then I started to think, that's the stupidest thing in the world. Of course I could beat up Jack Nicholson. If Jack Nicholson jumps out with a golf club, I'm falling on the ground.
Document it. Document it.
Documented. I'm getting a case of hysterical blindness. I'm
hand the phone cam to the kids and make sure just say frame it, honey, and leave the mic on. That's
Yep. You got it. You got it.
Wasn't it a chick though? I thought Jack Nicholson jumped out and smashed some hooker's car with his golf clubs because she had the temerity to ask for money to have sex with a 70-year-old geezer.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
It was a sad day. Jack Nicholson had been getting freebies for like 45 years, and then one day some young girl was like, "You're just a smelly old man to me, dude."
Yep. Well, you know what I heard that I heard Woody Harrelson pays for everything with checks.
He's the last guy writing checks, huh?
Well, you know why he writes with checks?
Why is this?
Because he's correctly figured out that people will want his autograph and want his check and will not cash them.
Ah, crafty Woody. But you're not alleging that he's paying for hookers with checks.
No.
Because that's Jerry Springer's. That's how Jerry Springer, when he was mayor of Cincinnati, got in trouble.
Oh, how?
He wrote checks to hookers.
Yeah, well.
Is that stupid or what? Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So do you have a pick for Johnny Hendricks versus Matt Brown? We've got the weight, Dolce distraction on Hendricks' side. We've got the criminal allegations distraction on Matt Brown's side. Who's going to be more distracted?
Man, this is actually tough. I have to say that I have lost some measure of faith in Hendricks. And
I thought he won the last fight myself.
No, I don't see that. But I'm gonna have to go with.
I thought the judges were gonna score it for him. So
I think I'm gonna have to go with angry Matt Brown.
Really, I think stylistically, Hendricks. It's hard for me to see Brown mauling Hendricks in the clinch the way he gets over on some people. I just feel like Hendricks' base is too solid to get tie plumbed around. But we'll see. I don't know. I feel like stylistically Hendricks has the edge. But career momentum-wise, Matt Brown definitely. I just feel like Hendricks is a spent force, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's strange.
I hear some of these guys, you take them into Golden Corral and say, "This is it, Johnny. You can have anything you want," and they never really recover from that.
Yeah.
Like they've reached the mountaintop.
I'm going a different way with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going the way of these guys who were like really good, and then they got serious about testing. And then these guys, maybe they were concerned, and I don't know. I'm just seeing a different kind of fire.
That might be but one thing about Texas, Eugene, it's a business-friendly environment. You're not gonna have to worry about pre-fight testing in Texas, and it's before the new UFC testing regime takes effect. We could see the old Alistair Overeem in this fight.
Somebody was asking me yesterday, have who was the fiercest opponent you've ever faced? I go, it was some guy who was roided out of his mind, and it was great. I started laughing in the middle of the fight. And the guy goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm fine." Yeah, no, because he couldn't even articulate. It was like, it was madness, absolute madness. So but I don't know. I'm gonna pick angry Matt Brown. I see the upside potential for him as being tremendous. I see the downside is being significant. I mean. The worst thing about him walking away with a loss on this one is going to be to embrace the fact that he's now officially in Nowheresville, whereas Johnny Hendricks is already in Nowheresville. I mean, he's close enough to being able to challenge again, for his belt, but the fire, the excitement, it's not there.
Bold words, bold words. I don't know. I just can't see Johnny Hendricks losing in Texas. I just can't see it in front of his hometown fans.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to Alexander Gustafsson about that?
Texas ain't Sweden, son.
Nah, you're worried about showing up that old high school girlfriend. You got to get seats for your mom. That stuff works against you, man.
That's what you say every time, but we'll see.
I'm right every time.
Because you pick both sides.
No, not even who was it? Gunnar Nelson got blasted too.
He did. That was a tragic day, but that fight wasn't in Iceland. It was just in Sweden. Yeah. So, whatever. All right. Women's strawweight title fight. Champion Carla Esparza against Joanna.
That's close. Yeah.
You're practically Polish. Tell me how it's supposed to be said.
I can't. I've been told before, but I've got the worst Polish teacher in the world. She's got very little patience.
She might be watching the show, Eugene.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's okay. She's going to be one of the 30 viewers. I doubt it. I imagine she's working, but no, she's very. Polish is actually the hardest language in the world.
I heard Finnish was harder.
No,
17 cases.
It's been officially decided that Polish is the hardest one. So I did figure out that the L with the score through it, like you see in what you might pronounce as Lodz, Lodz, the city in Poland, that L with the slash through it is pronounced with a W. So it's not Lodz, which would amuse me to no end. A city called Lodz. Yeah, but it's called Woods.
Woods. Yep. That almost sounds like a place.
So I remember something like Jurjevic, but I can't pronounce it. But the Polish broad is tough. So
She won a big upset to get the title shot. Everybody thought she was going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
Who was it she was fighting? She beat Claudia Gadelha. Who everybody thought was going to be the uncrowned champ, and was just going to come in and claim the title. So,
Poles suffer from this incredible insecurity complex that that makes them tough. They're fighting a lot more than the person opposite them in the cage.
A lot of history there in Poland. So, who are you picking? You picking the Polish girl? You're picking her. I got to pick her too. I think she's going to be very tough to beat. So it'll be interesting. Now we come to the main event. Anthony Showtime Pettis against some dude. Oh wait, Rafael dos Anjos. That's the guy.
Well, the Pettis isn't. First of all, we care. I care.
Massive care.
Yeah, massive care. And Pettis is one of those guys. He's kind of like we got him in that place where I don't think anybody watches to see him win anymore. I think we're just watching to see him lose. And there are a few people in that same arena. I don't think anybody's really watching to see Ronda win anymore. We're watching on the outside chance that she loses,
No, we're watching to see her do something amazing as she wins. That's like Showtime Pettis all the way, man. This is the guy, the author of the Showtime kick. I mean, he could do anything.
Yep. You got to pick?
Rabbits out of hats. I'm picking Pettis, man. I don't think Rafael is not stopping the party.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. But to keep some action going, and because I didn't talk about it on my show because I was still obsessed with the Ronda thing, I'm just going to go for Dos Anjos, just for the hell of it. Just
to be contrary.
Not to put $5 on it, not that strongly. My ass is still smarting from the Zingano thing, but I had to do that. It's
like the fifth time I said it, but I hope lessons were learned on that Zingano pick.
They are. I'm not putting $5 on Rafael dos Anjos, so there is that.
Live and learn, Eugene. That's all we can ask.
A whole month, man.
$5 out, like you're feeling that every lunch hour. Is that you go down to the vending machine and you count your quarters up?
I'm like a modern day Tom Joad, I'm wandering around.
No Skittles course today.
As I'm wandering around the mall, my hands dug deep in my pockets, looking through the glass windows at supermarkets and sighing.
If all you eat is the chocolate course, you're not going to get your vitamins. You'll get scurvy if you don't eat your Skittles, Eugene.
Well, fortunately, there are lots of citrus trees out here for free. And in actual fact, when I was in the phase of eating dead grass, the post office here has post office has citrus trees in the front, and I'd be climbing the trees to to eat the oranges, and all these Stanford kids would be like, oh, what a great idea, and I get off that fucking orange. No, this is my lunch, dinner, and breakfast for the next week. Fuck off, you know.
I feel you. I feel a friend of mine had a college roommate at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, and they had some kind of fucked up meal card plan where your parents could only put $500 on the card at the beginning of the semester. The thing was, they charged like for everything 20 cents for a pat of butter. So everybody was out of money on their card by October, except this kid's parents were like, "Bullshit, we maxed your card out. Like, you need to learn a lesson about not eating too much and saving some money." And so for the rest of the semester, the kid, like, he was stubborn. He didn't want to get a job, so he just slept as much as possible. And then he would have his roommate drive him to the mall and pick up change out of the fountain. And then he would get the Wendy's Super Salad buffet and just hit it as hard as that buffet had ever been hit. And somehow he survived. And then eventually next semester he got a job. So, you know.
Hey, you know what? You know, I'm going to go with the bad brains on this and say that, you know, my living ain't very funny. You know, poverty sucks, man. Like a friend of mine, a noted car thief friend of mine once said, poverty is for the birds.
Noted car thief.
Somehow that stuck with me. A guy drives up in his stolen car. Look, I got to go. Where you going? He goes, poverty is for the birds. Yeah, no.
Well, glad to hear he was a diligent and hard-working car thief.
Hey, he actually, you know what? He really was, man. He busted his ass. So I don't know where he is today, but he was a hard worker.
Well, bully for him. Here's the hard-working car thieves. Stay away from my late model Highlander. That's all I have to say. All right, so that's our show. We've got picks, we've got cares, we've got don't cares.
We got 28 viewers.
Yeah, we lost them after the main event. They're trickling away.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. They're gonna miss. Never mind.
Yeah, we got nothing. I mean, I was going to talk about how this bald spot here.
I don't know if I can open the trunk with it, to quote Cheech and Chong, but I got something.
Did you hear about the gal who snorted Ajax and Up in Smoke passed away recently?
No.
Yep. Apparently she had a very hard life. She went from Hollywood starlet, and she was like Glenn Fry's girlfriend or something, some A-list like soft rock kingpin in the 70s, and then she was homeless in the 90s. So
yeah, her and Margot Kidder, man.
Margot Kidder, tragic downfall there. Went from Raiders of the Lost Ark to digging in her neighbor's garbage on some kind of drug binge, allegedly.
Who was it? I knew this chick who went out with Greg Allman. And
Cher? Was it Cher, your good friend?
No. This chick was like a kind of hippie drug dealer. And
with Greg Allman?
And it's weird, right? Because, one of the Allman brothers, his daughter ended up being married to one of the guys from Neurosis. So, his life's meandering crossroads. So she was hanging out with Greg Allman. And at one point, I was hanging out with her, and she just blurted out to me, "I robbed the bank." I go, "What? What is she?" She said, "Never mention it again." I was like, what the fuck? How are you going to do this to me? No details, refuse to talk about it. Great,
Man, I had a high school buddy who waited until the statute of limitations passed and then told me this whole theater robbing spree he went on in the depths of cocaine addiction one time, and he had it all worked out. You go to the movies, you leave your jacket in the theater, then you knock on the door, ask the manager to let you in, then rob the guy. Anyway, terrible thing. And the worst part was he says, "And I know you could have done it too, Nate." Like, and I was like, no, I'm not sticking a gun in some poor schmuck's face for $50. I could not. That is a line I will not cross.
You know what? Pretty much anybody confessing anything to me, it's just like you can tell they get that tone of voice, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, please don't, don't complete."
Just zip those lips. Stop the revelation.
Now I gotta kill you. What do you mean you gotta kill me? Well, now you know. I didn't know before you told me.
Happily, the statute of limitations on armed robbery is just 7 years, so it's all water under the bridge at this point. Right. Time for the tell-all. All right. Well, that's our show. Remember, give us a thumbs up on YouTube if the show survives, and hopefully it will. And if not, we've got the backup. And there's Eugene giving us the finger.
No, that's my thumb up.
That's his thumbs up, way up. Way
Oh,
up.
see, now I'm
British and
completely
giving them.
disturbed because I thought unless I was talking, you couldn't see me.
I can see you. It's just small. And there are
Okay.
probably creeps that are watching like the small camera while we're doing the show. So,
You guys, like some guy came up to me after an Oxbow show and he was outraged. He was like, I didn't see your penis. Oh, man.
I paid my $7.
We just
Where's
played a
my
whole
penis?
show. He goes, yeah, well, anyway, do you have any pictures? What? No, man, I got a bunch of CDs and T-shirts. This was in Rotterdam. We played in Rotterdam. I was like, you guys are fucked up.
It's a fallen world. And remember to subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. That's MMA Nation, DOTCOM. Read us on BloodyElbow.com. You can read Eugene at Aussie.com, sometimes on Vice's Fightland, and you can purchase his book, Fight, Everything You Ever Want to Know About Ass Kicking, or afraid you get your ass kicked for asking. Is that right?
Four left that I'm signing. I mean, probably not in the world, but 4 that I have at home that I'll sign and send to you.
So get that signed copy. Of course, if you buy it from Amazon through the site, some of that money gets kicked back to Kid Nate. So weigh those options there.
Oh, yeah, Kid Nate. Look at that. Look at Kid Nate's palatial manse. Look at it behind him. Look at it.
Baby needs new shoes. See those old worn out baby shoes
look like
back
pretty
there?
expensive, nice ones to me.
They were pretty fancy, but she outgrew them, Eugene.
No.
Can't
Well, you
count
can use them on your hands.
As I'm crawling across the street and
right.
for bench. All right. Follow us on Twitter at KidNate, at Eugene S. Robinson. I think that's all my plugs, Eugene. So, adios, MMA aficionados.
We're done.
We'll see you next time.
All right, man.